Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to patch 7.21 rundown. I'm going to go ahead and take this pretty quickly. Okay, I can't promise that. I tend to ramble quite a bit, but this is the patch where, like every patch, I wonder if there's Ardent nerfs. I was told preemptively that this patch would have Ardent nerfs, so I'm very excited to read what potentially could be a meta-changing patch. My only problem with this is that it's coming out 2 weeks before the end of the season. I think that if you're looking to shake up the meta, you should have done it in the immediate patches following Worlds, so that like it wouldn't drastically change the meta 2 weeks before the end of the season. I think that that's kind of awkward, but hey, I'm not Riot Games. That's just my general opinion. Anyways, let's keep it running. What is this one for? Last one before preseason. Hitting a few outliers to make a few changes to the champions. Galio, Sedge, Rammus are far too good. Urgot, Udyr, okay, and Ardent Censer, awesome. Okay, they have a patch highlight video. I'm not going to look at it because I'm that for you guys. Azir, key damage reduced at later ranks, soldier damage reduced at later ranks. So apparently his damage is a little bit too high. I did suspect that this was the case when I saw his general win rate as well as played against him. But I think the Azir change made him better to play, for sure. I see a lot of people doing very well with Azir right now. He's still a very hard champion to play, but he has, if he ever gets ahead, he's one of the best scaling in terms of damage champions, consistent damage. Let's move on. Echo, passive damage to monsters increased. We're okay with Echo going jungle when he does so in a healthy way, as an assassin, not a tank. However, when we last changed his passive, made it tad harder for Echo jungle to succeed in the jungle. This change comes to make Echo a bit more viable in a role with as little risk as possible. Okay, cool. So they doubled his damage on his passive to monsters. Actually will help a lot in his ability to clear. I think that this is very nice for jungle, like very, very nice for jungle Echo. I'm gonna have to go ahead and see and if he's good after the change, but he was not even close to good before. I'm hoping this brings him in line to where he's like somewhat playable. Already I can imagine this champ's probably better than Eve, because I think Eve is not very good right now, and having the ability to have more AP junglers is definitely very nice, because in terms of AP assassins you really only have Eve and Nidalee and Elise, and having another option would be nice. Evelynn, E percentage damage minimum set. They're making it so it has minimum damage. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. So it kills a mini Krug. Whatever, dude. That's a good change. I actually expect bigger nerfs to Evelynn. I think right now Evelynn's fairly weak at the moment. She just feels like she's worse than the old Eve by a lot. She doesn't have the early ganking pressure because her passive doesn't kick in until 6. Her relative scaling might be better in the late game, but she's a weaker mid game in my opinion, and her ulti cooldown is just way too long, so she's not able to make a lot of consecutive plays. Overall, was hoping that Eve got maybe a little bit of buff here. Anyways, Galio. So this champ is probably one of the most OP competitive play champions. In solo queue, he's still really good. I think it's just that people get bored of him. Like, no one wants to play Galio because Galio is relatively boring. He's an unkillable tank that helps your team, so kind of like a tank Janna. But generally, it doesn't mean that he's weak in solo queue. It just means that like people just get bored playing him. So what are they doing? They're making it so his AP ratio goes higher up. 3% of his damage based on AP. Magic damage reduction got increased by AP as well. And his AP. Oh, I'm gonna go full AP Galio, 100%. This is kind of how I would like Galio to be played. I don't think he should be an unkillable tank. I think he's there to do like somewhat bursty damage, and also his AP scaling should directly impact his magic damage reduction from his Shield of Duran. I think that this is a much healthier version of Galio than before, because then you can kind of just peel back after his ulti. He's not ungodly killable. So I like this change a lot in terms of Galio. We'll make him weaker for sure, but it'll be a much better AP champion because they're buffing 0.3, 0.15, 0.2, bunch of AP ratios all around. Whoa, this is a hefty nerf. It's because they added AP scaling to the W. They made the physical damage reduction half of the magical damage reduction. That's pretty significant, actually. So you're not going to reach old highs until you get a lot of AP. GP, gold on kill increased. He wasn't getting the gold necessary, so we're pushing a few doubloons on. Really? They thought that this was his issue? Okay, they're making him get slightly gold a little bit faster. That's cool. He's never... Gameplay has always been a champ that tends to hyper farm till a couple items and then go crazy. This will be nice. Doesn't seem like a lot, but any small bit helps. Rammus. W bonus armor increased at later ranks. Flat W magic resist and percentage decreased. So they think he's too good against everything, and they want him to be more physical, anti-physical damage. Okay. So he's got humongous armor percentage, 90%, and much less magic. I like it, dude. I like the fact that he turns into more of an anti-physical damage dealer. I think it's fine to have niches. You know, that's kind of what Malphite is. Not a big deal. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. Pretty good. Will definitely suck early game though, because when you're sitting on like a couple levels of ball curl, having a lot less magic resist flat means you're a lot easier to kill by mages. But I guess that's a trade-off they're willing to take. Sejuani, innate armor and MR reduced, but passive grants more at later levels. Passive shield duration and cooldown better early. E-base damage reduced. Dude, Sej is OP. Like, let me put it this way. Sej is like the best juggler in the game, and she's just disgusting. So, they need to nerf something about her. So what are they nerfing? Her base armor, her armor growth, her base MR, her base MR growth. Okay. The armor and MR growth directly impact her passive because it scales off that. Passive North Fury of the North. They're making it so the flat resists are slightly more linger slightly longer at early ranks and has a flat cooldown. So she's a worse tank late game, but more standardized across. I think that's reasonable. The early 2 seconds helps out a lot early. The freeze damage got nerfed by half, which wasn't really a big part of the thing. What's going on, guys? Hello? Hello? What on earth is going on? Hello? Hello? Is that better? Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Sorry about that. I didn't realize my microphone popped right there. Anyways, moving on to Permafrost. It does... Shadow damage doesn't make a difference, so she just got less base damage overall. She's generally just weaker overall, which is exactly what you look for in Sej. Her early clear is already not super healthy, so if you can look to chunk her a little bit, she's going to be definitely vulnerable there. And yeah, I think it's nice. Great nerfs for a champ that's already super strong. Udyr, I don't see this champ at all. I have no idea how good he is. I assume he's terrible, because I just don't see him. He's far from where we'd like to see him, both as a champion and juggernaut. We don't think this solves his issue, but we're going to do something so that picking Udyr doesn't always feel like the wrong decision. So, okay, they increased his attack damage scaling by quite a bit. They increased his total AD scaling by Q, and they increased his Phoenix stance or strike ratio by 0.15. Alright, that doesn't sound too bad. Actually, both of those buffs are really good. Okay. I definitely think they're not going to make him OP, for sure. But it'll just be nice. This base stat buff directly affects the Tiger stance. It's very helpful. Urgot. Alright, this is an interesting champion. So, Urgot didn't see much play, and then saw play by Gigabyte Marines at Worlds. The champion itself is very interesting. I think generally he's supposed to be like somewhat of a tank shredder slash frontliner with interesting utility with his ulti. So he's just like a somewhat tanky frontliner bruiser. So I think he's okay right now. What did they decide to do? They make hits. So his shotgun, what? His shotgun knees at 2.5 seconds at 13? Really? He's a lot weaker early though. Minus 2.5% early. Wait, so he's gonna get the 13 and 2 items and be a monster. Well then. Okay. The mana cost got increased to 50 at all ranks, and this is a really big buff. Lowered the Q delay. A lot of Urgot's abilities have this weird delay on his E and Q that make it somewhat annoying to play him. So big quality of life buff, or just big buff here, and then this is a pretty nice buff, almost increasing the missile speed by 20 or 50%. So generally, this champ will be much stronger later. I don't think you'll run into a situation where he's much weaker than he was before. I think he's slightly weaker early game, like level 1, 2, 3, 4. But aside from that, generally overall much better. And I think that's good. He might actually be too good, but it'd be an easy champion to nerf, and especially since we're walking into the preseason, I very much doubt that it matters that we're getting like a powerful top lane Urgot when everything's gonna just be crazy. Anyways, Sin's out. Recommended items have been updated. All right, cool. I don't care about that. Censer, woo, the big heavy hitter. So it's been making waves, bot lane, and you know you're building gold relic shield on your AD and running gold runes on your support to get this faster. Pretty stupid in my opinion. So what do? They decrease the attack speed buff 10% to 30. On hit magic damage goes from 5 to 20. Okay, really good nerfs to this item. Finally, it's significantly worse in the mid game when you pick it up very early first item. This gives you time for the pick supports and the initiation supports like Thresh, Alistar to make a big enough impact in the mid game to where they don't have to feel like they have to win lane or they lose the game. Excellent nerfs. It still is a great item, but it's gonna take a while to get there. Frozen Heart has been outshined by other tank items. That is not necessarily true. So to give me a little bit more armor, I think Frozen Heart already has niche potential at the moment. Buffing it even more, it's nice. It's really good. Very appealing buy right now. Tier of the Goddess, stacking effects to now occur up to 3 times every 12 seconds. Want to make it easier for tier to be stacked when you're already be casting abilities. Okay, slightly quality of life buff, not much is going to be changed. Mana per stack increased. Some mana immune just stacks slightly faster. The Doom bots have nice skins, new missions, bug fixes, which I don't really want to read. This is the only skin you need to look at. I heard the in-game model is not as good, but I kind of like it. Overall, patch is really good. Gameplay nerfs, Ardent nerfs, Galileo nerfs, all in the right direction. Arzir nerfs, all in the right direction. Did a great job doing that. Don't really care about the buffs the other champions. Urgot did see the best buff from all of the champs here. Champ that's already kind of borderline very strong. So I think you should expect to see more of him. Overall, though, it's okay. Good patch. Just because the Censer got nerfed, thank God I can actually see myself playing like Alistar and Thresh and stuff bot lane more. Maybe not Thresh, more Alistar, but I'm very happy about this patch. Alright, that's it. Man Immune stacks 25%.